Well, now the new gold rush happening in Australia. It's not a precious metal, although it is worth up to $5 billion a year to Australian producers. David Richardson explores our latest cash cow that's feeding babies all over the world.
For decades, mining has been Australia's cash cow, but with iron ore prices crashing to a 10-year low, now money is being made by the real McCoy, dairy cows. And it's all thanks to China, a baby boom and an insatiable thirst for a product they call white gold.
We're forecasting to manufacture around 5 million tins by the end of 2015. Into 2016 we look at doubling that growth to around 10 million tins, and that equates to around about a $1 billion turnover.
This is the southern Gippsland area of Victoria, prime dairy country. Here, 142 dairies provide milk, which will make its way to China as white gold, baby and infant formula. The milk is carted to processors like Borough Foods, where it's unloaded and stringently tested for antibiotics or other contaminants. The white gold rush has seen businesses explode in this region.
And you've only got to look at Borough Foods to look at the growth. Some 5 years ago we had 40 employees. We're now talking, including contractors, over 200.
Borough Foods produces the white powder which will form the base for baby formula to be exported to China. The process is called wet blending, as Operations Manager Glenn Falke explains.
We add probably, depending on the specifications, anything up to 35 more ingredients, being vitamins, being minerals, being other proteins and all sorts of things, depending on what the customer requires.
After it's all mixed together, the milk is dried into powder and bagged, 10,000 tonnes a year. Its next stop, the baby formula factory, one of just 5 in the country licensed to produce for the massive Chinese market. There are 17 million children born in China every year, but that number is expected to increase to 23 million as China relaxes its one-child policy. Imagine the population of Australia born every year, and up to 80% of those kids will start their lives on baby formula. Is it any wonder they call this white gold?
I think really the opportunities in this industry, in this market share, are endless.
This is the first time a television crew has been allowed inside the Viplus factory. Here, 95% of the tins of baby and infant formula produced go straight to export, and not just to China. International Sales Manager Chris McKiernan.
Many of the emerging markets like India, Indonesia, Russia, not only China but many other countries see Australia as a fantastic, high quality, safe environment to purchase infant formula.
China's demand for overseas formula was sparked by a domestic milk scandal. In 2008, a major Chinese producer added melamine to its milk products, killing 6 children and poisoning another 300,000. Now Australian infant powder sells for 418 yuan a tin. That's $89 Australian, 3 times the cost here.
There's certainly exponential growth in the future. It is hard to predict it, but I think what's going to hold us in good stead is as long as our farmers are producing good quality milk, we'll have access to those fantastic quality ingredients and an end product that really won't be surpassed in the world by any other country.
As long as weather conditions remain favourable and our milk remains contaminant-free, the sky's the limit.
The next 18 months is looking fantastic for a good bit of rainfall in the area, but if we're not having rainfall, we have very poor quality conditions for farmers to produce milk. So that's the constraint, and I think a lot of different industries, not just dairy, environmental factors are going to play a large part. But while environmental conditions are solid, then I think the demand for Australian infant formula is just continually going to grow threefold in the next 3 to 5 years.
So make formula while the sun shines.
Exactly right.